Good afternoon, everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all my fellow Irishmen. I'm Congressman Tom Rooney here to give you an update on what happened this week in Congress. This week, the House unanimously voted to condemn Syrian President Bashar al-Assad for committing war crimes against his own people in Syria. Since March of 2011, nearly 500,000 Syrians have lost their lives at the hands of Assad, and millions more have become refugees while fleeing for their lives. We as a nation have sat back for 5 years and watched Assad murder thousands of civilians. The president's drawn red lines have been crossed and international laws have been broken. We need to come together and develop a clear and concise strategy to end this senseless violence. The House also voted to declare the acts by ISIS against Christians and other ethnic minorities as genocide. Secretary Kerry announced just this morning a similar statement agreeing that ISIS is guilty of committing genocide. For months, I have called upon the President to present to Congress a new plan to actually defeat ISIS, one that stands a chance of succeeding, one that doesn't rely on an underwhelming force, and one that doesn't require us to cross our fingers and hope that someone else will come in and save the day. Hope may have been a good campaign slogan, but it's not a strategy that's going to take down the Islamic State. Each day, ISIS is committing acts of genocide. What is it going to take for this administration to do something about that? This week, during my Agricultural Appropriations Subcommittee hearing, I had the opportunity to question experts on research and development gains being made in an effort to combat citrus greening. I received some good feedback from some of the panelists, but they know as well as I do that our work on this is far from being finished. I remain wholly committed to working with my growers in Florida and my colleagues in Washington to figure out a way to make it worthwhile to be a citrus grower. And finally, yesterday was Brain Injury Awareness Day on Capitol Hill. As a co-chair of the Congressional Brain Injury Task Force, I joined my colleague, Democrat from New Jersey, Bill Pascrell, in putting together a number of events throughout the day to help raise awareness about brain injuries. Traumatic brain injuries, better known as TBIs, affect millions of Americans every year. From sports injuries, our war heroes returning home, car accidents, TBIs can happen to anyone. The excellent turnout yesterday shows how dedicated we are as a country to learning more about the brain, researching ways to curb the long-term effects, and helping individuals suffering from TBIs in all the ways that we possibly can. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message today. This weekend, I'm heading to Sebring, where I will be starting off the annual 12 Hours of Sebring. Also in sports news, I filled out my bracket. Those of you may remember I successfully called the Super Bowl winning Denver Broncos over the Carolina Panthers. So if you think that you're interested in picking a good bracket, I kind of have a unique Final Four with Villanova versus Oregon, Xavier versus Gonzaga. Villanova, Xavier in the final, with Villanova repeating the 1985 national championship. And that's all I got for this week. Thank you, and from Washington, D.C., have a great weekend.